Third type of group is in-group. In-group is we group, means the group where the feeling is we feeling comes among the members of the group. For an individual, in-group is the group to which he belongs. The family, club, college or are in-groups. The feeling of belonging to a group or in-groupness indicate in a member a feeling of togetherness, and it is the heart of the group life. So where a member feels to be a part of a group, and where the feeling of togetherness among all the members of the group and the person considered is called a in-group. The following are the characteristics of in-groups. All the members feel that their welfare bind them with the other members. The first characteristic is all the members feel that the welfare of all the members of the group is the responsibility of all the members of the group. Number 2, members have sympathy towards one another. A sympathetic attitude amongst the members is being followed. Number 3, their mutual sympathy is respected in mutual cooperation. Mutual sympathy is respected in mutual cooperation, mutual help, goodwill and respect for mutual benefits and rights. Then the members possess solidarity sentiments. They are united to the greatest extent. Next, the members show readiness to sacrifice something for group. Every member is ready to sacrifice something for the benefit of the group. All in group is any primary or secondary group towards which the members have solidarity, sentiments, feeling of loyalty and cooperation. Members of the in-group by their action enjoy and get a sort of pleasure rather than that of a displeasure and boredom. So all the members of in-group enjoy living together and they feel it's pleasure to be the part of the group. There is no antagonism among the members of in-group. The members of an in-group is based on inclusion as well as exclusion. So both inclusion and exclusion becomes the basis of the membership of the in-group. The word we signify the sense of unity, and the word they is used to signify their exclusiveness. The word we is meant to be to show the unity in the group, and the word they is used to signify exclusiveness from those others not belonging to their group. They are totally excluded. Then the next is out-group. The out-group is they group or other group, the other persons. Out-group is one to which other than him belongs. If a person is belonging to a particular group, then for that person the other group will be an out-group. An out-group is a circle of people to which an individual feels no sense of belongingness, and an individual will always feel no sense of belongingness towards the out-group. Out-group convey a feeling of they or those others. Outgroup is an association of those persons towards whom we have the feeling of indifference, avoidance, disgust, competition, or even outright conflict. So, where the feelings such as indifference, avoidance, disgust, competition, or conflict arises towards a particular person or towards a particular group, that group becomes an outgroup. For example, a tiller of the soil views his landlord as outgroup. Outgroup attitudes are always marked by a sense of difference and frequently by those degree of antagonism. The distinction of in-group and out-group leaders. For ethnocentrism, the membership of in-group begin to praise and tolerate everything of V-group and condemn and discard those of out-group. Today in modern society, thus ethnocentrism is considered as patriotism. Now, the fifth type of group is your formal group. Some social groups in the society are formally organized. The formal group is guided by written rules and rules of the members, is determined by place in the organization, means the status in the organization. Everything is in written. All the rules, all the roles that the members have to perform are in written, and the roles of the members is according to the hierarchy of the status of the member in that particular group or in that particular organization. The behavior of the members of the formal group is regulated by the established norms and rules. There are established norms and rules, and all the members have to follow them and perform them. The members should abide by the norms and rules of the work, otherwise the goals of the group will not be realized. A formal group always has a normative hierarchical structure. There is a normative hierarchical structure or status system. Any serious violation of the rules of formal groups by the members leads to punishment, and if the members are not following the rules of the formal group, then the members are punished severely. Membership in formal group is based on qualification. A qualified person, the person having the required expertise, the required skills, will become a member of the group. The patterned sets of relations between the members are guided by regulated norms, and the organization consists of highly specialized rules. And the relations between the members are guided by regulated norms, and the organization consists of highly specialized rules. The members are culturally heterogeneous. The goals of the group are considered highly important. The examples for formal groups are political parties, business firms, governmental agencies, hospitals, persons, prisons, armies, and universities. Then the informal group. A group without framed rules, goals, or leaders is called informal group. Informal group is a social group which has all group characteristics. So it is a social group, it is informal in nature, and there are no framed rules, goals, or leaders in informal group. They have established system of interpersonal relations, joint activities, the feelings of belonging to a group, but they lack any legal status. So informal groups do not have any legal status. They, whatever are the other characteristics of the group, of social group, they are there, but legal status is not there. Brought together by common interest lying outside the professional field, informal groups exist in the form of clubs, sports sections, societies, etc. Members of all informal groups are united by friendly feelings, mutual liking, emotional attraction, understanding, and respect, which frequently exert a beneficial influence on relationship within the group. Though they have no established norms and legal rules that the members of the group have to abide by, but their behavior is maintained by unwritten rules and regulations. It is a custom and tradition that prevails in an informal group. So the customs, traditions, and the behavior of interacting with the other persons are all prevalent in the informal group. Family and friendship groups belong to informal groups. Then comes your horizontal group. Some social groups are composed of persons who belong to the same social class, that is, who are given relative similar treatment because they have economic and social attributes which are ranked similarly in the prestige hierarchy of the society. These are called horizontal groups. So a horizontal group is where people belonging to the same social class who are given relative similar treatment because they have economic and social attributes. Such type of group are called as a horizontal group. These are called horizontal groups. A group in which members have equal status and social prestige in terms of similar incomes, such as a labor union, upper and lower division clerks in a horizontal group. Thus, large inclusive groups are horizontal groups, for example, a nation. Then eighth is vertical group. Groups in which members are often from different social classes, different income levels, and whose social prestige varies widely are called vertical groups. Small divisions are example of small groups, for example, economic, political organizations, etc. are vertical groups. Then voluntary group. Voluntary group is big in size. The members do not have any close relations. The membership of person in voluntary group depends upon his interest. Clubs, political parties, etc. are examples of voluntary groups. Involuntary groups are small in size. The members have intimate relations. Family is an example of involuntary group. Then public group, the group having members of public and they are large in size. Then the private group, the group of members belonging to a kinship and family is a private group. Then unsocial group. An unsocial group is one which largely lives to itself and for itself and does not participate in the larger society of which it is a part. It does not mix up with other groups and remains aloof from them. Then pseudo-social group. A pseudo-social group participates in the larger social life but mainly for its own gain and not for the greater good. Then a antisocial group. Any antisocial group is one that acts against the interest of society. A group which destroy a public property is antisocial.